They said I was nothing, they gave me their pity. They counted me out before I'd walked into the city of my own becoming. Before I found the door that led beneath the surface to the depth of something more. I carried every failure like a stone across my chest. I walked through every darkness thinking this was just the test of someone ordinary, someone built for less. I didn't know the shadow was where I'd find the rest of everything I lost, of everything unmade. I didn't know the darkness was the medium of the blade. Something is shifting deep beneath the ground. Something is waking that was always to be found. I am not the person that they buried with their doubt. I am what was waiting in the shadow to come out. I am the shadow, and the shadow is the throne. I am the shadow, built from everything alone, from every wound, from every night I spent in the dark. I am the shadow, and the shadow leaves its mark on everything it touches, on every wall it breaks. I am the shadow, and the shadow never wakes into something less than what the dark has made it be. I am the shadow, and the shadow is free. The gates of the abyss were never closed to me. They were waiting, patient for the person I would be. When the last illusion of my weakness fell away, when I stopped apologizing for arriving at this day, I descended, and the descent was the making, not the breaking, not the end, but the remaking of the self that couldn't hold the weight of what I am. I am the shadow, and the shadow has a plan. Something has shifted irreversibly now. Something has woken and taken its vow. I am not the victim of the story they told. I am what emerges when the darkness takes hold. I am the shadow, and the shadow is the throne. I am the shadow, built from everything alone, from every wound, from every night I spent in the dark. I am the shadow, and the shadow leaves its mark. They thought the dark would break me. They didn't understand. The dark was not my prison. The dark was my kingdom, and I had been its king before I knew the word life. Me in the ruins of the life I used to live. They took everything I had and said there's nothing left to give. I lay there in the broken, in the ash of what had been, and I waited in the silence for the thing I'd never seen. The shadow spoke a language that I'd never heard before, a frequency beneath the world, beneath the basement floor of everything I thought I was, beneath the pain and loss. And in the dark it offered me a crown and asked the cost. The cost was everything I thought I needed to survive. The cost was every comfort, every easier alive. The cost was walking willingly into the greatest dark and rising not from light, but rising from the mark of every scar, every fall, every buried alive. Arise from the ashes of the person that they broke. Arise from the silence, from the darkness, from the smoke of every burning version of the self that couldn't hold. Arise into the shadow, into something called an absolute and powerful and singular in mind. Arise past the failure, past the fear, past the line of what they said was possible, past everything they swore. Arise and never fall the way you fell before. I counted every soldier that the darkness left behind, every fallen version of the self, the broken mind, the fear, the grief, the doubt. I looked at everyone and I said the word, the only word, the only one. Arise, and the shadows moved and the army took its shape, and I was not alone inside the dark, inside the drape of power that surrounded everything I'd been. And I was not the victim anymore, I was the king. The cost was every weakness I had used to build a wall. The cost was the surrender of the comfortable small. The cost was facing everything that lived inside the dark and rising not from safety, rising from the murk. Arise from the ashes of the person that they broke. Arise from the darkness, from the silence, from the smoke of every burning version of the self that couldn't hold. Arise into the shadow, into something cold and powerful and absolute and singular and true. Arise, the shadow always rises, so do you. Every shadow I commanded, every fallen thing I raised, was a piece of myself I had buried in the dark. Arise, all of it. Rise! Arise, the full command of everything I am. Arise, the shadow and the monarch and the plan that the darkness always held for those who walked it to the end. Arise, the fallen, the forgotten, the transcend of every limitation, every wall they built around. Arise, from underground, from silence, from the sound of nothing, into everything the shadow claims its own. Arise, the army and the king and the throne. Arise. They put me at the bottom of the rank and walked away. They didn't see the point of watching someone like me stay in the dungeon with the others, with the ones who'd never rise. They smiled with their pity, and I memorized their eyes. E-rank, they said it like a sentence, like a grave, like the person in the lowest tier was never meant to save themselves from what was written, from the destiny assigned. I accepted their assessment and I left it all behind. Something grows in the lowest place. Something builds where there's no saving grace. Something forms when there's nothing left to lose. The weakest hunter makes the hardest choose. The weakest hunter enters every dungeon on his own. The weakest hunter built his power from the bone of every failure, every gate that wouldn't open, every fall. The weakest hunter heard the shadow when it called and answered, not with power, not with rank or given skill, but with something underneath the quiet grinding will. The weakest hunter, given nothing, built the throne. Built the throne. The weakest hunter, never weak, just unknown. I trained in secret in the dungeon of my own design. I counted every failure as a step along the line that led from where they placed me to the place I chose to go. The rank they gave me at the start was not the rank below what I became. It was the rank of the unranked, the power of the person who was never even thanked for showing up, for lasting, for refusing to accept the ceiling of the ordinary where the ordinary slept. Something grows when they have turned their back. Something builds in what they think is lack. Something forms in the person who grinds through the night. The weakest hunter becoming the fight. The weakest hunter enters every dungeon on his own. The weakest hunter built his power from the bone of every failure, every rank doubtfall. The weakest hunter heard the shadow when it called. They ranked me last. They were right, for one day. Every day after that, I was someone they had no rank for. The system had no category for what I became. I leveled past their ceiling. I leveled past their system. I leveled past the concept of rank itself. No one sees the growing mind that calculates the next step and the next and the one beyond. The weakest hunter. No one sees the bond between the dark and what it built, the shadow and the steel. The weakest hunter in the end became the real power in the system, in the world, in the game. The weakest hunter and the Monarch were the same. That only open once and close behind forever. There are thresholds you can cross that separate the never from the always, from the point where what you were has no more say in what you're going to be. Demure is not an option standing here before the open gates. The abyss is not a punishment. The abyss is the state of everything unconditioned, everything unformed, everything that waits for someone strong enough to storm its depths and claim them. The gate is open and behind it lives everything the darkness has and gives to those who enter without looking back. The gate of the abyss, there is no track back to what was. Gates of the abyss, I have walked through every one. Gates of the abyss, there is no going back to done. I crossed the threshold into what I didn't understand. Gates of the abyss, and I reached into the land of shadow, and the shadow took my hand. Gates of the abyss, and now I stand in the place beyond the ordinary, past the human gate. Gates of the abyss, this is my fate, and my fortune, and my throne, and my domain. They warned me what was on the other side of the descent. They said the people who go in are never what they meant to be when they return, if they return at all. I walked in anyway, I answered every call. The dungeon had a logic that the surface couldn't match, a clarity of power of the real without the catch of social expectation of the comfortable defined. The gate of the abyss is where I left that behind. The gate is open, one time, one chance. The abyss is asking for the final stance of the person you were before the dark. The gate of the abyss leaves its mark. Gates of the abyss, I have walked through every one. Gates of the abyss, no going back to dawn. I crossed the threshold and I didn't look behind. Gates of the abyss, and on the other side I find the kingdom that the shadow always held for me. No braver act than walking willingly into the thing you don't understand yet. The gate of the abyss opens for the one who has run out of reasons not to enter. Walk through, don't look behind. The gate closes. Good. Gates of the abyss, the gate is closed behind me now. Gates of the abyss, and I have learned the what and how. Power born in darkness, of strength made in the deep. Gates of the abyss, the shadow secrets keep. The knowledge of the person built beyond the threshold cross. Gates of the abyss, and nothing has been lost that needed keeping. Everything the gate consumed was everything the monarch didn't need. The shadow bloomed. The shadow bloomed. No light was given to the one who built this kingdom here. No map, no guide, no cheering crowd, no one to persevere alongside. Just the darkness and the will to claim the space that no one else had wanted in this cold and lightless place. I built the throne from shadow, from the substance of the night. I built it from the material that others call the blight of existence. I called power, I called kingdom, I called mine. The shadow throne was waiting at the end of the design. The throne is not given, the throne is claimed. The throne is not bright, the throne is unnamed. By those who fear the darkness, by those who fear the deep. The shadow throne is only his who doesn't fall asleep. Shadow throne, I claim it with the darkness that I earned. Shadow throne, I sit upon the power that I learned from every dungeon, every descent, every shadow faced alone. Shadow throne, and now the shadow calls it home. The armies of the dark kneel at its base. Shadow throne built in the lightless space, where power forms without the need for light to shine. Shadow throne, and every shadow is mine. The kings of light need answers and gold. The king of shadow needs the dark and the will to hold the abyss at bay, to walk through it, to make it kneel. The shadow throne doesn't negotiate. The shadow throne is real. I've seen the other thrones, I've seen what light kings rule. I've seen the compromise, the politics, the fools. Tool of power that requires the crowd's approval every day. The shadow throne is absolute. The shadow throne will stay. The throne is not inherited, the throne is built. The throne is not without, the throne is filled with everything the dark provided, everything the night has given. Shadow throne, the only throne worth living. Shadow throne, I claim it with the darkness that I earned. Shadow throne, I sit upon the power that I learned from every dungeon, every shadow faced alone. Shadow throne, the shadow calls it home. Every monarch before me needed the crowd's permission. I need only the dark. The shadow throne answers to no court but the shadow itself, and the shadow answers to me. Shadow throne, the armies of the dark stand here. Shadow throne, the power of the shadow, crystal clear. Not inherited, not given, not approved by any light. Shadow throne, claimed in the absolute night of every training in the dark, every session unforgiven. Shadow throne, the price was fully given. Every scar, every fallen version, every descent. Shadow throne was what they meant. They thought I stood alone against the dark and all its weight. They thought one man against the abyss was just his fate, to be consumed, to be reduced, to be nothing left. They didn't see the 1,000 shadows standing at my left and right and back and every direction that I face. They didn't see the army that had claimed this lightless space alongside me. Not servants, not the weak made strong, but every fallen version of myself where they belong. 1,000 shadows, walking where I walk. 1,000 shadows, present when I talk. To the darkness that surrounds me, they are every word. 1,000 shadows, finally heard. 1,000 shadows, march beside me through the gate. 1,000 shadows, none of them too late. They were here before the power, here before the throne. 1,000 shadows, I was never alone. From the first descent, from the first fallen wall. 1,000 shadows answered every call of every session in the dark, every mile in the rain. 1,000 shadows, and they rise again with me. Always, always, always. I call them from the dungeon of the training and the miles. I call them from the dark gym, from the cold, from the trials of every session that I almost didn't finish, every fail. 1,000 shadows answered and they lifted and prevailed. They are the army of my history, the fallen things reborn. They are every version of myself that suffered and was torn and rose and became power. Every scar become a blade. 1,000 shadows built from every everything the darkness made. 1,000 shadows rising where I rise. 1,000 shadows opening their eyes in the dark beside me, in the dungeon and the grind. 1,000 shadows, every fallen left behind version of myself made strong. 1,000 shadows march beside me through the gate. 1,000 shadows, none of them arrive too late. 1,000 shadows, I have never walked alone. 1,000 shadows, and we share the throne. Every rep you finished when you wanted to quit, that is a shadow soldier. Every mile in the cold when you wanted to stop, that is a shadow soldier. Every time you rose from the floor of failure, that is a shadow soldier. You have an army. You always had an army. 1,000 shadows. Command them. The army of the built and broken made. 1,000 shadows, every scar becomes a blade in the arsenal of everything the darkness gave to me. 1,000 shadows, this is the decree of the monarch, of the training, of the running of the dark. 1,000 shadows, and they carry every mark of every year invested in the shadow and the grind. 1,000 shadows, built from everything designed for this moment, for this final rising. 1,000 shadows, and the shadow is surprising. No one anymore, the shadow was the plan. 1,000 shadows, and 1,000 make the man.
To begin, it showed me what I was and showed me what lay within the gap between the person and the power, and it said, choose the dungeon or the comfort of your ordinary bed. I chose the dungeon, every gate that opened dark. I chose the exp of suffering, every pain point left its mark on the character I'm building, on the stats that slowly grow. The system tracks it all, the system always knows. Level up, the road to vacation no one else can see. Level up, the progression happening inside of me. Every dungeon run, every session, every fallen state. Level up, the system keeps the update, it never waits. Level up, I see it in the mirror and the way. Level up, I feel it every time I take the gate into the next dungeon, into the next hard thing. Level up, the shadow always brings a new assignment, a new challenge, a new wall. Level up and rise from every fall. The system never stops, the ranking never stays. Level up through every night, through every day. My stats were garbage at the start, my rank below the floor, but every dungeon has a boss and every boss has more experience inside it than the comfort zone provides. And I've been farming dungeons, I've been living on the rise of every difficulty curve. The harder the more the X that I gather, the more the shadow pours into the vessel that I'm building session after session. Level up the system and the lesson. Level up, invisible to everyone but me. Level up, the stat sheet that they'll never see until the dungeon that requires what I built.
Every failure is the most valuable data drop. The dungeon doesn't give you rest. The dungeon gives you levels. And levels are the only currency that actually matters.
Level up. Always.
There is no cap.
Level up. I've cleared 100 dungeons in my mind. Level up and left the lower ranked self behind. With every session, every early morning, every game. Level up, and I have never been this great as I am now. And now is just the floor. Level up, there is always more. The shadow keeps the system, keeps the running tab. Level up, and everything I've grabbed from every dungeon, every fallen wall, every ascent. Level up was what the shadow meant.
The monarch trains before the army wakes, before the sun, before the shadow soldiers line the hall, before the one who serves announces what the day contains in silence. The monarch trains because the throne requires compliance. With the body that the power lives inside, the vessel that commands the armies must itself be set to wrestle with the highest standard, with the absolute demand that the person of the shadow earns the right to command. The throne is not the finish line, the throne is the beginning. The power's not the destination, it's the winning of the next session and the next and the one beyond. The monarch reigns, the monarch, and the bond with discipline is absolute, is daily is the crown. The monarch's training before the world awakes. The monarch's training through everything it takes to hold the power, to deserve the shadow's claim. The monarch's training, and the shadow knows my name, not from the throne, but from the iron and the road. The monarch's training, carrying the code of absolute commitments of the daily standard kept. The monarch's training happens while they slept. I've watched what happens to the kings who rest on what they have, who sit upon the power without tending to the lab of their own development, who think the throne is stable without the daily maintenance, without the training table. The shadow doesn't hold a throne for those who stop their growth. The shadow keeps the kingdom for the one who swears the oath of daily, of the rising of the standard absolute. The monarch's training, growing from the root. The throne is not the end, the throne is the starting. The power is not received, the power is the parting from every comfortable version of the yesterday. The monarch trains the monarch every day. The monarch's training before the world awakes. The monarch's training through everything it takes to hold the power, to deserve the shadow throne. The monarch's training done completely alone. The most powerful thing in any kingdom is not the army. It is the discipline of the one who commands it. The monarch trains because the throne demands what the throne provides. You cannot separate the two. Train like a monarch every day. Monarch's training, the absolutely knowable standard that the shadow holds belongs to those who earn it every morning. Training, this is not a warning. This is the agreement between the power and the king. The Monarch training is everything. The boss lay in the shadow of the dungeon I had cleared. Everything that promised it was dangerous was feared by those who didn't enter, by those who watched me go into the gate alone and waited for the show of someone coming out broken or not coming out at all. They didn't count on shadow, they didn't count the fall of every version of the boss I'd faced before this gate. They were all the same, and this one came too late. Dungeon clear. The gate is open and the shadows stand. Dungeon clear. The boss was just another test of hands and will, and the accumulation of the training dark. Dungeon clear. I've left the dungeon's mark. Dungeon clear. And I am walking out the other side. Dungeon clear. With everything the dark provides to those who go inside it, to those who face the boss. Dungeon clear. And nothing is the loss that ill appeared before I entered every wall. Dungeon clear. The dungeon held it all. The extra stats, the next level of the self. Dungeon clear. And I've cleared every shelf of limitation, taken every drop of power here. Dungeon clear. I'm walking out. Dungeon clear. They cheer when I emerge, they cheer because they see the dungeon clear notification. They don't see me walking out, already calculating the next gate, already moving, already not too late for the next dungeon, for the harder one, the one that matches what I've built from everything I've done inside the dark. The boss was not the point, the dungeon clear is just the next joint in the skeleton of the person I'm constructing. Dungeon clear. And everything's producing power for the next descent, for the next dark. Dungeon clear. And I carry every mark. Dungeon clear. The boss was just the final test. Dungeon clear. And I move on to the next. Already, always the completion is the gate. Dungeon clear. And no dungeon comes too late. Dungeon clear. And I am walking out the other side. Dungeon clear. With everything the dark provides to those who face the boss without retreating. Dungeon clear. The shadow keeps on beating. Every dungeon you have ever cleared, every boss you have defeated, every gate that tried to keep you in was a version of this moment. The dungeon clear. The notification that reads, "You are stronger than what tried to stop you. Move to the next gate. There is always a next gate." Dungeon clear. Dungeon clear. The shadow army cheers in darkness. Dungeon clear. The monarch in his starkness walks from every challenge, bearing what it gave. Dungeon clear. The dungeon was no grave, it was a leveling ground, offering a test. Dungeon clear. And I am at my best this moment, but the best is never final. Dungeon clear. And already the next spiral of the dungeon is in view. the next dark gate. Dungeon clear, and I am never late. I have stood in total ruin. I have seen the floor of what a person looks like when they can't take anymore. When the dungeon took the party, when the strategy failed, when every gate I tried to open left me pale and broken, and I lay there in the shadow of the loss. And I understood the meaning of the ultimate cost of reaching past your current rank, of trying for the gate that was above my level. And I lay there, and I waited. In the ruins, something stirs. In the devastation, something occurs. To the person left in pieces on the floor, the ruins are the foundation, nothing more. Sovereign of ruin, built from what was left. Sovereign of ruin, after every theft of confidence and status and the person that I planned. Sovereign of ruin, I understand that the ruin was not the ending of the story. Sovereign of ruin, this is the category of the strongest ones, not those who never fell. Sovereign of ruin, and I know the ruin well. It is my origin, my first material. Sovereign of ruin, and the rain is real. I have counted every piece of what the failure left behind to die. I've built a kingdom from the ruins of my mind. Not the bright kingdom, not the one they celebrate. The dark one in the ruin, past the shadow gate. The sovereign of ruin doesn't need the applause. The sovereign of ruin understands the claws of power, that it comes from what the wreckage left. The sovereign of ruin is the product of the depth. In the ruins, the foundation waits. In the devastation, something creates itself from what remains, from what survives. Sovereign of ruin, and the sovereign thrives. Sovereign of ruin, built from what was left. Sovereign of ruin, after every theft of everything I thought defined my right. Sovereign of ruin, and the sovereign arrives, not from the light, from the deepest dark. Sovereign of ruin, and the sovereign leaves its mark. They thought the ruin was my end. They thought the floor was where I would remain. They didn't understand that the sovereign of ruin has already built more kingdoms from worse materials than these. The ruins are my raw material. I am sovereign of ruin, and I reign. Sovereign of ruin, I have risen from the worst. Sovereign of ruin, from the broken and the cursed. Material of failure, from the wreckage and the loss. Sovereign of ruin, and I have paid the cost. In every piece of pride and plan that had to fall. Sovereign of ruin, I have given all, and from the giving, from the emptying, the throne. Sovereign of ruin, built from rubble, mine alone.
After the gate, after the awakening, the world looks different through these eyes, looks dark and furled, with shadow that was always there but never visible to me, before the dungeon changed the way that I could see. The ordinary world, the surface life, the light, looks thin now, looks like paper set against the night of what I've seen below, of what lives in the depth. I see through the illusion with each shadow touched breath.
Eyes of the abyss,
See what others miss.
eyes of the abyss,
See the shadow in the bliss of ordinary living, in the structure of the real.
eyes of the abyss,
Is what the dark revealed.
eyes of the abyss,
The world is not the same
eyes of the abyss,
since I walked through the flame of the dungeon and the shadow and the power that it gave.
eyes of the abyss,
I am not the slave of the ordinary anymore. I see the gates,
eyes of the abyss,
I see the hidden waves of potential that the surface people miss.
eyes of the abyss,
The gift, the dark, the bliss. I look at ordinary people walking through their day, and I see what's underneath. I see the dormant way that power waits inside them, all the untouched gates that nobody enters, all the unclaimed fates. I wanna tell them there are dungeons under everything. I wanna tell them what the shadow has to bring to those who enter, but you cannot tell the ones who haven't crossed the threshold, who avoid the runs into the dark. The eyes of the abyss are private, earned, can't be explained like this.
eyes of the abyss,
See the hidden gate,
eyes of the abyss,
see the hidden weight of power in the ordinary and the overlooked. Eyes of the abyss is what the shadow took from darkness and gave back.
eyes of the abyss,
The world is not the same
eyes of the abyss,
since I walked through the flame of the dungeon and the power and the dark,
eyes of the abyss,
and the shadow left its mark on how I see everything.
Once you have seen through shadow eyes, you cannot unsee. The gates are everywhere. The dungeons are in every ordinary day. The question is not whether they exist. The question is whether you have the eyes to find them and the will to enter. Eyes of the abyss. See everything.
eyes of the abyss,
I see the gates in everything.
Every boss before this one was practice, preparation. Every dungeon cleared was clearing through a station. On the way to this, the gate that leads to the deepest floor. The final boss was never what I thought. There was more than any monster, any darkness, any external test. The final boss was waiting in the mirror of my chest. The voice that said I wasn't the limit that I set. The version of myself I hadn't overcome yet. The final boss is me, the limit I've accepted. The final boss is me, the ceiling I've respected without question, without challenging the edge. The final boss is me, standing at the ledge of my own potential. The final boss I've been avoiding all this time. The final boss was on the other side of every climb. I thought I'd done, it was the version of myself that kept the power on the highest, darkest shelves. Out of my own reach that told me to accept the final boss. The self I hadn't checked into the dungeon, hadn't sent to face the wall. The final boss, the hardest in the call of every shadow pointing inward, not ahead. The final boss lives in me instead. I've descended past the comfort, past the fear, past the known. I faced the bosses that were waiting in the stone of my psychology, my limits, my believed impossible. And every time I've achieved the clearing, I found another final floor beneath the floor. Another boss, another door. The final boss retreats as I advance. The final boss and I, an endless dance. The final boss is me, the edge I haven't reached. The final boss is me, the ceiling never breached. By discipline alone, the version past my best. The final boss is me, and I accept the test. The final boss I've been avoiding in the mirror. The final boss is getting darker and it's clearer. The only thing between the power and the throne is the version of myself standing alone. That hasn't been surpassed yet. The limit that remains. The final boss that lives inside my veins. The hardest dungeon, the most impossible boss, the gate that no one else can help you through. It's inside. It has always been inside, and you have been circling it for years. Enter. Face the final boss. It is you. And you are stronger than it now. You always were. The final boss. I walk toward it, not away. The final boss. I face it every single day. In the mirror, in the training, in the choice. The final boss. I found my shadow voice, and it commands, face the limit, break the cell that kept the power on the unreachable shelf. The final boss is falling, I can feel the wall. The final boss and I will clear them all. The Monarch doesn't rely on feeling. Feeling is a guest that comes and goes and takes the session. Takes the best of training opportunities. When it refuses to arrive, the Monarch runs on protocol. That's how the shadows thrive. Activate the sequence, body, mind, and will. Not when inspired, always come what may, until the dungeon is complete and the next gate is in view. Shadow protocol, and the shadow follows through. Shadow protocol, engage.
Shadow protocol
The system, not the stage.
of emotion,
Not the surge of motivations lift. Shadow Protocol,
The daily gift
of consistency, the monarch's greatest asset. Shadow Protocol,
I run it every morning in the dark.
Shadow Protocol,
The system leaves its mark on every day, regardless of the feeling in my chest.
Shadow Protocol,
Has put me to the test.
of consistency,
The dungeon needs no move.
Shadow Protocol,
The only latitude
the monarch gives himself.
is which dungeon never weather.
Shadow Protocol,
Through every kind of weather.
the protocol begins at the same hour every day. The protocol is not negotiated,
Has no say.
in what is comfortable.
It simply runs. It simply
The
is.
Shadow Protocol,
This is how the shadow lives.
every variable is scripted, every
Sequence locked,
every dungeon entry is by protocol.
not shy,
Impulse, not the feeling.
not the temporary drive.
Shadow Protocol,
This is how I stay alive. As the person I've decided I will be.
Shadow Protocol,
No emotion at the gate.
Shadow Protocol,
The system never late.
never early.
Always exactly when it's said.
Shadow Protocol,
Lives in the monarch's head.
as the only law that matters. Shadow Protocol,
I run it every morning in the dark.
Shadow Protocol,
The system leaves its mark on every day,
on every week.
on every compounded year.
Shadow Protocol,
And it becomes clear.
that the system is the sovereign. Step 1, arrive.
Step 2,
Begin.
Step 3,
Finish.
Step 4,
Log the data.
Step 5.
Determine the next dungeon.
There is no step that says
Wait until you feel like it.
the Shadow Protocol.
Has no such step.
It never did.
It never will.
Shadow Protocol.
Engage. Shadow Protocol.
The monarch and the system are the same.
Shadow Protocol.
Consistency the only game.
Worth playing in the long dungeon of the training life. Shadow Protocol.
Cuts through every night.
Of doubt and feeling and the temporary low. Shadow Protocol.
The only thing I know.
That builds the kind of power that the monarch needs to reign. Shadow Protocol. Engage.
Again.
Again. The monarch doesn't rely on feeling. Feeling is a guest that comes and goes and takes the session. Takes the best of training opportunities when it refuses to arrive. The monarch runs on protocol, that's how the shadows thrive. Activate the sequence, body, mind, and will. Not when inspired, always come what may. Until the dungeon is complete and the next gate is in view. Shadow protocol, and the shadow follows through. Shadow protocol.
Engage.
Shadow protocol.
The system, not the stage of emotion, not the surge of motivations lift.
Shadow protocol.
The daily gift of consistency. The monarch's greatest asset.
Shadow protocol.
I run it every morning in the dark.
Shadow protocol.
The system leaves its mark on every day, regardless of the feeling.
consistency.
The dungeon needs no mood.
Shadow Protocol.
The only latitude the monarch gives himself is which dungeon never weather.
Shadow Protocol.
Through every kind of weather.
The protocol begins at the same hour every day. The protocol is not negotiated, has no say in what is comfortable. It simply runs, it simply is. The Shadow Protocol, this is how the Shadow lives. Every variable is scripted, every sequence locked. Every dungeon entry is by protocol, not shocked. Impulse, not the feeling, not the temporary drive.
Shadow Protocol.
This is how I stay alive as the person I've decided I will be.
Shadow Protocol.
No emotion at the gate.
Shadow Protocol.
The system never late, never early, always exactly when it's said.
Shadow Protocol.
Lives in the monarch's head as the only law that matters.
Shadow Protocol.
I run it every morning in the dark.
Shadow Protocol.
The system leaves its mark on every day, on every week, on every compounded year.
Shadow Protocol.
And it becomes clear
That the system is the sovereign.
Step 1, arrive. Step 2, begin. Step 3, finish. Step 4, log the data.
Step 5, determine the next dungeon. Repeat, there is no step that says wait.
until you feel like it.
The Shadow Protocol has no such step.
It never did. It never will.
Shadow Protocol.
Engage.
Shadow Protocol.
The monarch and the system are the same.
Shadow Protocol.
Consistency, the only game worth playing. The long dungeon of the training life
Shadow Protocol.
cuts through every knife of doubt and feeling and the temporary low.
Shadow Protocol.
The only thing I know that builds the kind of power that the monarch needs to reign.
Shadow Protocol.
Engage again, again.
In every mythology, there lives a god of night who tears apart the structure, who extinguishes the light. Not from malice, not from hatred, not from any flaw, but because creation needs destruction. That's the sacred law. I have been that god to every version of myself. I've torn the comfortable down, put the easy on the shelf, of the discarded, of the outgrown, of the used up old, and built what needed building in the dark, in the cold. God of ruin and rebirth. The cycle never ends. God of ruin and rebirth. The power always bends back toward the creation after every necessary fall. God of ruin and rebirth. The pattern through it all. God of ruin and rebirth. I tear apart to build. God of ruin and rebirth. The cycle is fulfilled in every session that destroys the previous limit held. God of ruin and rebirth. Every ceiling fell. Becomes the floor something higher. Every wall. God of ruin and rebirth. After every fall. The rebirth is more powerful than what preceded it. God of ruin and rebirth. And I am it. I've destroyed the version of myself that thought it was enough. I burned the comfortable structure through the stuff of every comfort zone and every easy ceiling reached. God of ruin and rebirth. The cycle preached by every dungeon in the shadow realm, by every boss who forced the evolution, every painful loss that became a seed of power, every ruined plan. God of ruin and rebirth. The pattern of this man. God of ruin and rebirth. Destroy to recreate. God of ruin and rebirth. This is the sacred state of the monarch in his training, in his dungeon and his dark. God of ruin and rebirth. And the cycle leaves its mark. God of ruin and rebirth. I tear apart to build. God of ruin and rebirth. The cycle is fulfilled after every session that destroys what came before. God of ruin and rebirth. And always more. In the mythology of shadow, nothing is truly destroyed. Everything is transformed. The dungeon boss becomes the power. The fallen wall becomes the throne. The broken plan becomes the strategy. God of ruin and rebirth, the cycle is the point. Destroy, build, rise, destroy again. Higher, always higher. God of ruin and rebirth, the mythology is mine. God of ruin and rebirth, the dark and the divine are not opposites. The dark is the creation. God of ruin and rebirth, the foundation of everything I've built was laid in ruin first. God of ruin and rebirth, through the worst and through the after, through the cycle and the turn. God of ruin and rebirth, I have earned the right to call the cycle and to reign. God of ruin and rebirth, and it begins again. The shadow took me as its student long before I knew it was teaching me. In every dungeon, every breakthrough, it wrote its lessons in the language of the difficult mile, in the weight that broke me, in the form and the style of every failure that became a chapter of the mastery. I was the disciple, and the shadow held the key. Not given, shown, and only in the showing. Not explained, revealed in the going. Shadow's disciple, learning from the dark. Shadow's disciple, every lesson leaves its mark. Not in a book, in the body, in the bone. Shadow's disciple, and the shadow is the tone of everything I know. Shadow's disciple, I bow to the training. Shadow's disciple, through the dark and the raining of every difficult, every lesson paid in pain. Shadow's disciple, and I rise again, deeper in the understanding of the shadow and its way. Shadow's disciple, and I learn every day. Not from the comfortable, from the edge, from the hard. Shadow's disciple, and I carry every scar as curriculum. The disciple doesn't ask for easier, the disciple asks for harder, for the dungeon with the most difficult task, for the boss that's closest to the edge of what I know, because the edge of knowledge is the only place to grow. The shadow rewards the disciple who seeks the harder gate. The shadow keeps the deepest power for the ones who wait, not in comfort, wait in training, wait in discipline. Shadow's disciple, this is where I've always been. Shadow's disciple, the student of the dark. Shadow's disciple, every session is a spark of understanding, every failure is a class. Shadow's disciple, and the lessons will outlast everything I've known. Shadow's disciple, I bow to the training. Shadow's disciple, through the dark and the raining of every difficult, every lesson hard. Shadow's disciple, and I carry every scar as the curriculum of the shadow and its school. The shadow doesn't give power. The shadow teaches the path to it. The disciple who walks the path earns what the path contains. There are no shortcuts in the shadow school. Every lesson has a price. Every price is exactly right. Shadow's disciple, always learning, always earning. Shadow Shadow School provided.
Shadow's disciple.
And I've never hidden from the hardest class. From the dungeon none would enter.
Shadow's disciple.
And the dark's a mentor that teaches through the iron and the mile and the dark.
Shadow's disciple.
And it left its mark
On everything I am.
on every power that I hold.
Shadow's disciple.
And the story's never told
Completely.
because the disciple never graduates.
Shadow's disciple.
Learning at the gates of the next dungeon always. Forever. Shadow's disciple stops never. Shadow took me as its student long before I knew it was teaching me in every dungeon, every breakthrough. It wrote its lessons in the language of the difficult mile, in the weight that broke me, in the form, in the style of every failure that became a chapter of the mastery. I was the disciple and the shadow held the key, not given, shown, and only in the showing. Not explained, revealed in the going.
Shadow's disciple.
Learning from the dark.
Shadow's disciple.
Every lesson leaves its mark. Not in a book, in the body, in the bone.
Shadow's disciple.
And the shadow is the tone of everything I know.
Shadow's disciple.
I bow to the training.
Shadow's disciple.
Through the dark and the raining of every difficult, every lesson paid in pain.
Shadow's disciple.
And I rise again, deeper in the understanding of the shadow and its way.
Shadow's disciple.
And I learn every day, not from the comfortable, from the edge, from the heart.
Shadow's disciple.
And I carry every scar as curriculum. The disciple doesn't ask for easier. The disciple asks for harder. For the dungeon with the most difficult tasks. For the boss that's closest to the edge of what I know. Because the edge of knowledge is the only place to grow. The shadow rewards the disciple who seeks the harder gate. The shadow keeps the deepest power for the ones who wait. Not in comfort, wait in training, wait in discipline. Shadow's disciple. This is where I've always been.
Shadow's disciple.
The student of the dark.
Shadow's disciple.
Every session is a spark of understanding. Every failure is a class.
Shadow's disciple.
And the lessons will outlast everything I've known.
Shadow's disciple.
I bow to the training.
Shadow's disciple.
Through the dark and the raining of every difficult, every lesson hard.
Shadow's disciple.
And I carry every scar as the curriculum of the shadow and its school. The shadow doesn't give power. The shadow teaches the path to it. The disciple who walks the path earns what the path contains. There are no shortcuts in the shadow school. Every lesson has a price. Every price is exactly right. Shadow's disciple. Always learning. Always earning.
Shadow's disciple.
I have learned to love the hard.
Shadow's disciple.
Every dungeon, every scar, every lesson that the shadows go provided.
Shadow's disciple.
And I've never hidden from the hardest class. From the dungeon, none would enter.
Shadow's disciple.
And the dark's a mentor that teaches through the iron and the mile and the dark.
Shadow's disciple.
And it left its mark on everything I am, on every power that I hold.
Shadow's disciple.
And the story's never told graduates, Shadow's disciple, learning at the gates of the next dungeon, always, forever. Shadow's disciple stops never.
The stars are not the story. The story is the dark between them. In the vast and lightless park of space that holds the universe together, holds the fire of every burning thing in its dark, holds the choir of galaxies. The shadow is the medium of everything. The darkness is what makes the light worth noticing. The ring of meaning around every flash, the context of the bright. The dark between the stars is what holds the night. The dark between the stars is where the power lives. The dark between the stars is what the shadow gives. Not the moment, but the space around the moment real. The dark between the stars is what I feel between the sessions. The dark between the stars, the training in the dark. The dark between the stars, the unglamorous mark of every ordinary day between the glorious ones. The dark between the stars is where the building comes from, patience from the process, from the unseen. The dark between the stars is what I mean when I say the power lives in what you do when no one sees. The dark between the stars is you. The highlighted rep, the PR, the moment caught on the camera. Those are stars and they are what the audience sees. But the dark between is more of the training, more of the kingdom, more of the core. What the Monarch is, the 1,000 sessions dark that nobody filmed 1,000 times. The mark was kept in private in the hours no one charted. The dark between the stars, where the Monarch started. The dark between the stars, the majority of the time. The dark between the stars, where you do the climb without the glorious light of achievement shining. The dark between the stars, the actual defining substance of the power. The dark between the stars, the training in the dark. The dark between the stars, the unglamorous mark of every ordinary day that built the extraordinary. The dark between the stars, the necessary. Look at the night sky. What you see are the stars. What is actually there is mostly dark. The dark is what holds it all together. The dark is what makes the stars visible. The dark is the majority. And the majority is where the work is done. Your training life is the same. The dark between the sessions, the unfilmed ordinary days. That is the majority. That is the actual power. That is the Shadow Monarch's kingdom. The dark between the stars, 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 stars. The dark between the 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 stars. The universe of training. The dark between the stars. The constant and remaining foundation of the bright moments I have earned. The dark between the stars. And everything I've learned came from the ordinary dark, the unfilmed hour. The dark between the stars contains the power that the stars require to be worth what they are. The dark between the stars, the training and the scar of every unglamorous day. These are the majority. The dark between the stars, the shadow's authority lives here, not in the moment, in the space. The dark between the stars, the Monarch's true place. The shadow was there before the system gave me rank. The shadow was there in the dungeon when I sank to the lowest floor, when everything went dark. The shadow saw it, and the shadow left its mark. Not on my
skin on something underneath the surface. The shadow sees the training in its truest purpose, sees the session no one filmed, sees the hour before the dawn. The shadow is there, and the shadow carries on. The shadow remembers every time you rose. The shadow remembers every time the cold wind blows across the mile you ran when no one thought to care. The shadow remembers. The shadow was there. The shadow remembers every rep that no one saw. The shadow remembers every training in the raw. Cold morning, every session in the grief and in the doubt. The shadow remembers what your building is about. More than the result, it's about the witnessing. The shadow remembers everything, every fragment, every oath, every rising from the floor. The shadow remembers and remembers more. There are training sessions that I'll never post or share, that happened in the 4 a.m. and then nobody was there. Private hours in those sessions, those are the ones the shadow holds the most precisely. Those are the ones that make the throne, the unperformed, the unphotographed. The ones where I was honest, where I trained for the exact half of everything I had, or all of it, no extra face. The shadow remembers every session, every space. The shadow remembers every wall you hid and held. The shadow remembers every place you almost fell, and didn't every oath renewed in the dark. The shadow remembers, and the shadow keeps the mark. The shadow remembers every rep that no one saw. The shadow remembers every training in the raw. Material of discipline, the shadow keeps the score. The shadow remembers, and it always asks for more, not as punishment, as recognition. It was real. The shadow remembers, and the shadow feels the weight of what you've carried and acknowledges the cost. The shadow remembers, and nothing has been lost. Every training session you've ever done, the shadow saw it. Every cold morning, the shadow was there. Every rep at failure, the shadow recorded it. Every time you kept the oath in private, the shadow knows. You were never unwitnessed. The shadow always saw, and the shadow never forgets. The shadow remembers all of it, all of you. The shadow remembers, and the shadow builds the throne from everything you did when you were training alone. From every fragment, every dungeon, every score. The shadow remembers everything you are. Was witnessed, was recorded, was held in the dark. The shadow remembers every unlit mark of discipline, of oath, of the unperformed truth. The shadow remembers, and the shadow built you from everything you did when no one else was watching. The shadow remembers, and the shadow keeps on notching. Every honest rep, every cold and private mile. The shadow remembers, and it's always been worthwhile.
was E rank in the world they ranked me in. I was the weakest hunter and I walked into the din of every dungeon, every gate, alone and overlooked. I didn't know what was building, didn't know what I'd cooked. In the shadow and the silence and the training in the dark, I didn't know the abyss was leaving every mark of a monarch on the vessel of the person I was then. I didn't know that then was building into when. When arrives, it always arrives. When the shadow is ready. When arrives, and the throne is steady. Built from every fragment, every oath, every code. When arrives, and the monarch takes hold. Shadow Monarch's throne. I've arrived at the end. Shadow Monarch's throne. Every dungeon, every bend in the road of the training, every shadow that I faced. Shadow Monarch's throne. And nothing was a waste. Every fragment, every oath, every abyss I walked. Shadow Monarch's throne. And everything I stalked through the darkness was the building of this place. Shadow Monarch's throne. And I take my rightful space. The Shadow Army stands in silence. Every one of my 1,000 shadows, every session done in private, every mile, every oath fulfilled.
Shadow Monarch's throne.
And everything I've built is standing now before me, not the destination. It was never a destination, it's a station on the path that has no end. The throne is just the current.
Shadow Monarch's throne.
The power is concurrent
With the training.
They are not separate things.
When was always now.
The throne was always forming.
When was always now.
The shadow always storming
Through the ordinary hours.
into something real.
Shadow Monarch's throne.
And this is what I feel has always been the truth.
Shadow Monarch's throne.
I've arrived and I begin.
Shadow Monarch's throne.
Everything I've been through was building this, was earning this, was paying.
Shadow Monarch's throne.
And I am staying, not resting, staying active, staying in the training.
Shadow Monarch's throne.
And it is not remaining what it was. The throne ascends as I ascend.
Shadow Monarch's throne.
And there is no end. 20 dungeons,
20 songs.
every fragment,
Every oath.
every abyss,
Every forge.
every cold meridian,
Every 1,000 shadows.
every gate of the abyss,
Every monarch's training.
every dungeon clear,
Every sovereign of ruin. This.
all of it,
Built this.
the Shadow Monarch's throne.
Was never a destination.
It was always the direction,
And the direction.
has no final point.
The monarch ascends.
Always,
The shadow deepens.
always,
The throne rises.
always.
This is not the end of the story.
This is the moment the story
knows its name.
Shadow Monarch!
Shadow Monarch's throne.
The full and final power
Shadow Monarch's throne.
through every darkest hour. Built from fragments, built from oaths.
Built from the abyss.
Shadow Monarch's throne. And I have earned this. Not by waiting, not by ranking, not by being given.
Shadow Monarch's throne.
By the driven daily choosing of the dungeon of the dark of the heart.
Shadow Monarch's throne.
And every scar was the price, and every price was worth the paying.
Shadow Monarch's throne.
And I am staying,
Not arrive.
ascending,
Always.
always more.
Shadow Monarch's throne.
This is what it's for.
Shadow Monarch's throne.
And I am the shadow, and the shadow is the